What up, guys? So finally getting back in the water again. It's been a couple weeks since I've been for a surf. I was really busy with finals at school and then Christmas and all that kind of jazz. But I'm heading down to Malibu today. Probably going to hit up Zuma. There's not much swell, it's like 2 foot, so hopefully there's a fun little peak I can get away from the crowd and just have a little bit of fun. So fingers crossed. It's going to be sunny today. It's been raining all week and finally today they reckon it's going to be 70 degrees and sunny, so it's a nice change. It's funny how you get so used to the weather in LA of just being sunny all the time and so beautiful, and then all of a sudden it rains for a week and it's just like, oh my god, like everyone's freaking out, you know. When I was in the Pacific Northwest, it was like that every day and you just kind of got used to it. But down here, it's like always like 80 degrees, just sunshine, blue skies, which is great. But when it rains, it's like a huge shock. You're just not used to it. It's so different.
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 Aside from my soul.
Down here at Zuma, the waves are small, but the conditions are absolutely perfect. And the sun's out and it's kind of warmed up, so I don't have the luxury of surfing every day. So I'm gonna hit it anyway, make the most of it. It's a little bit of a set now, check this out. It's worth a paddle, the sun's out. Alright, I'm out there. That set just rolled through and it actually looks kind of fun out there. And there's hardly anyone out, so I'm pumped. I got this new board just before I came out here from Australia, and I've only ridden it a few times and I'm not sold on it yet. So I keep riding it, hoping that, you know, I figure it out, and I love this board, but I just haven't had that session yet. So maybe today, probably not in these conditions, but I really want to like this board, so we'll see what happens.
There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul.
Alrighty, so I just got done surfing. It was actually really fun. It was small, but it was just fun to get out there again. I haven't been surfing for a few weeks, like I said earlier, so just getting back out there again, it was really fun. Even though it's not pumping, it was still a good time. You're probably wondering why I'm surfing when the title to this video is why I quit surfing. But I just want to give you like a little bit of a background to what that means and why that happened, because I did quit surfing for a year, and I'll get to the reasoning behind that. But first of all, I wanted to start off by giving a little bit of background info to me and what surfing has been through my life. So at a young age, like 7, 8 years old is when I started surfing. I lived by the beach in Australia and surfing was all I did. So at a young age, like 10 or 11 years old, I started doing contests, and I ended up doing really well in a few contests, and I did really well in a Rip Curl contest when I was 12, and that actually started my career. I got sponsored by Rip Curl. I ended up being with Rip Curl for 6 years until I was 18, and I was doing a bunch of contests, surf, that was all I did. And towards the end of, like, I guess once I was about 16, 17, when I hit the Pro Juniors, I was doing not as well as I thought I would be doing in the contest, and mainly I think that came down to me not putting as much effort into my surfing and kind of just being a kid and saying whatever, you know. And once I was kind of 16, 17, every one of my friends was like partying and doing all this stuff, and I was kind of stuck in between these two worlds of contest surfer and being a kid, basically being a teenager. So I kind of got caught up in the whole partying and rah when I was 17, 18, and just basically my surfing went to shit. Like, I was not doing well. I couldn't make it past like round 2 in the Pro Junior series. I wasn't surfing enough. I was wasting my weekends and all my time just partying and drinking it up, being stupid. So when I turned 18, I had a contract. My contract with Rip Curl ended, and basically when that ended, I just quit competition altogether. I just went, nah, that's it. It's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna go get a real job and see what happens. So that went on for a while. I just like worked a few shitty jobs, got out of the contest scene. I still surfed a fair bit, but not as much as I was surfing in my earlier years. And you know, I did a few Bali trips and partied with the boys, and everything was great. It was good fun. And then so a few years passed, and I was working so much, I was barely really surfing. And then I met my girlfriend Ariel, and she was like, hey, let's do a Bali trip. And I was like, hell yeah. So I got all pumped. I got a few new boards, went to Bali, did that, surfed my guts out, and kind of like reignited like my flair for surfing again. And so I was really pumped on surfing again after that trip. And I came home, surfed for about like a month or two, like, yeah, you know, I'm back into it. And then really started getting burnt out on surfers basically, and the whole scene. Just the amount of people in the water, and the whole vibe, and the arrogance, and the arguing, and just the fighting for the waves, it just slowly started to wear on me. And I was thinking, like, it kind of took the fun out of it for me, and I was thinking, it's not fun anymore. I'm not enjoying it, especially when the waves are shitty and people are just fighting for waves and are really aggro and over what. Like, I'm just like, this isn't worth it. So I really kind of, you know, got a little bit burnt out again, but I was still surfing. And then what happened was I ended up tearing my meniscus in my left knee, and that basically put me out of the water. I had to get surgery on my knee, and this was just before I was coming to the US 2 years ago. and I literally got the operation a week before I left. And then after that, after I got the operation, I basically said, that's it, I'm not surfing anymore. And not because of the injury, but basically, I mean, that was part of the reason, but the main reason was because of the whole surf scene. I was like, it just sucks. Like, I don't want to be, it's not fun anymore. It's not cool. It's just a bunch of idiots, you know? So I thought, I did not surf for over a year. I didn't have a surfboard or anything like that. I just like completely erased surfing from my life. And eventually, after about a year, I was with some friends, and they were surfing, and they were like, hey man, like I got a board for you and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, so like I haven't surfed for ages, I know how to do this, I'll surf. And just going for that one surf was like just happiness. Like I was just felt so good again. I was like, man, like I can't believe it's been over a year and I haven't surfed. Like, what the hell? Like, what have I been doing? Like, I can't believe I got so burnt out on this. And that again just like reignited the flame. So that was about maybe a year and a half ago now when I went for that surf. So I had a whole year off and started surfing again about a year and a half ago, and I've really got back into it again. And it was just amazing that something I love so much, I just quit and didn't do it, and I didn't really think about it at all until I went surfing again. And then I realized, oh, I've wasted a whole year. I mean, not really, because I was still doing cool shit, but it was so good to get back in the water again, and I'm so glad for those friends who kind of motivated me to start surfing again. So since that day, I've just been back into it. I've got new boards, like new wetsuits, and I'm just really loving it. I feel like I'm surfing good, and I just feel a lot happier when I'm surfing. So it's great for me as a person, and I feel like it's something that I have always loved to do, and I always will do, even if I leave it and come back to it. So basically, that's basically my surfing career and life in a nutshell, and the reason why I quit surfing. So I'm back into it now, which is great, and I just thought I'd want to share that with you guys so you know a little bit more about me and about my past and why I'm a surfer and how I became, you know, to this point right now in my life. So I'm glad I got to share that with you guys. I hope that's a little bit of insight. And no matter what the surf's like, just go surfing. Like today, the surf wasn't even good, but I don't get the luxury of surfing every single day. So even though the surf wasn't great, I had an amazing time, and it's just good to get outside, be active, and just surf. It's a great sport. Don't get caught up in all the bullshit and all the aggro people or what people say to you, or if people yell at you in the surf. They're not having as much fun as you, obviously, so ignore those people, stay positive, and don't let anyone bring you down. Later, guys.